to take a lot of work, but it's going to happen in a very short amount of time. But it's going to happen in a very short amount of time to start turning the tide on this nation. And that's why we have to be very aggressive. And that's why we have to be very aggressive. This is a time that we go big. This is a time that we go big. Now is the time, and that's one of the reasons we're pushing. And that's one of the reasons we're pushing, which basically gets rid of this, which basically gets rid of this being able to get in the government, of game the system, and stay on the payroll, game the system, and stay on the payroll, conspiracy, and you can stay on the government payroll. You got 7 to 14 days. You got 7 to 14 days.
It's really well said.
And you know, it's really well said.
This really illustrates a broader point as we look. This really illustrates a broader point as we look. As all the people here in this room, as all the people here in this room, you know what? What can we all storm town halls like Chuck Schumer's town hall and start saying why don't you support? Saying why don't you support these options? School choice. Why don't you support these options? So the work is not yet done properly. There was a great analogy or metaphor made earlier. I think analogy or metaphor made earlier where you said, I think Jonathan, we have all the troops in the right position. Now we have to go take the territory. In the right position. Now we have to pass this legislation. We have to have the actually have the wherewithal to actually have the wherewithal to. And so I would just love to get some points. So I would just like to say, why don't you support? What are your thoughts of what does success look like? What are your process? How can we gauge that success? How can we hold? How can we gauge that success? How can we hold? Because we can't lose this opportunity. I mean, because we can't lose this opportunity. More state chambers ever controlled another time. More state chambers ever controlled another country. We're never going to have an opportunity across the country. We're never going to have an opportunity to implement reform like this.
And I think the first place where we would start is that. And I think the first place where we would start. The next time you get an email from your the next time you get an email on government email telling you to oppose your state lawmaker, telling you to oppose a school choice bill, let that lawmaker know that that offends you, and that you're going to work to stop that kind of activity. I think the next thing is that I think all of us should commit. The next thing is that I think over the next legislative session that we're going to take action on legislative session that we're going to take action on ideas and market ideas and on the same red ideas and help with strategies and what are your thoughts? And then when even our own people get out of line, the governor in Oklahoma is ready to increase taxes. The governor in Oklahoma is ready to increase taxes. $2 billion leading that effort. We're leading that effort to stop limited government. If you're a friend of free markets, limited government, and those people, if you're not, we should support those people. If you're not, hopefully see that you don't try to stop you, and hopefully see that you don't return to office.
Where do you see the greatest abuses of power? Where do you see the greatest abuses of power? And I think that's an important question. And I think it's also a question of accountability. And where we see the greatest accountable powers are oftentimes the regulatory state. Oftentimes, so you have a situation in our federal regulatory agencies or state regulatory agencies. They investigate alleged violations of the rules. They investigate alleged violations of the rules. And then, by the way, if you ever take that administrative agency to court, if you ever take that administrative agency to court, the court's obligated to defer to what the agency did. The court's obligated to defer to what the agency did. That doesn't sound much like something out of the Banana Republic. So we need to support these efforts to rein in the regulatory state, to rein in the regulatory agencies. Why don't we sunset these regulatory agencies and let them come to lawmakers and justify reforms that can limit the size and scope of this unaccountable
talking about these regulatory agencies out there is one of the worst off of its mission. It no longer cares about the environment, and I love it. It no longer cares about the environment, and I love the environment. I want to protect the environment to eliminate the EPA because it needs to be replaced with a smaller agency. Because it needs to be replaced with a smaller agency that works with the states, and Congress to determine what our policy is and let the states enforce it. We protect our environment, but this is where we protect our environment. Very important. This you need to keep doing what you've been doing over the last 8 years. You need to keep doing what you've been doing over the last 8 years. After we co-sponsored that legislation, my office, in a series of just a few days, received over 1,000 people calling. Of some of the most abusive people calling were opposed to the legislation. All but 5 were opposed to the legislation. We're going to keep going in the direction we're going, but if I'm going to keep going in the direction we're going, but if I'm in a very conservative district, I'm only getting imagine what those in swing districts are getting. We need to make our voice just as loud as it's been over the last 8 years.
My old boss was Bob Novak, the columnist, and one of the things he said was, he said as a general thing, not to all politicians as a class are up to no good. Another saying he liked to quote other people saying was, politics isn't about getting somebody to do the right thing for the wrong reason. It's about getting other politicians to do the right things for the wrong reason, for whatever reason they want. And so that means you have to make it painful for them to do the wrong thing. So everybody who came on this stage, every politician who came up here said, I'm a conservative, I'm with you, they will have different incentives than the rest of us. They will have things